And they understand software, hardware. They can solve your computer problems. And they can do that. Now, why can they do that? Because they know computers. They know how they were built. They know the parts, the processes, how things work. Why can humans fix computers? Because humans created computers. We either have documentation or we can do reverse engineering, but humans can fix computers. Now, if you bring in this class of people, let's take this into the spiritual world. If we assume that we have to have a human who can do that we have our soul, which is immaterial. You can't see it under a microscope. You have demons that are immaterial, cannot be seen, but they're real spiritual entities. And you have these interactions going on within a person that is influencing them. And it's very complex. The soul is very complex. These demons have been functioning in this spirit world for thousands and thousands of years, and they know their way around. We can't even see them. We see manifestations, we don't actually see the demons. So why can't we have a spiritual geek squad that comes and fixes a soul like the one that fixes the computer? Because God created souls. And the Bible says only God knows the heart. God is the heart knower. God is the one that can deliver us. And we are out of our element. Even the most advanced spiritual counselor who knows psychology, psychiatry, the Bible, and demonology, and exorcism, and can integrate that and put it all together. There's a couple people out there like that, or at least that claim to be like that write books. Even the most advanced person like that is totally out of his or her element, because these demons are liars, they're deceptive, they've been around a long time, and the human soul is more complex. We will never be able to figure it out. The Bible says, who can know it? Implied answer, no one other than God. So this spiritual geek squad really cannot come out and do what the real geek squad does with a computer. They can't do it with the human soul or with the spirit world.
When you came to that realization, and these are terms we would use now because this was happening 25 years ago, when you came to that realization, you ultimately said this can't be the answer, and you moved on to something else. Give us about a 30-second wrap on where that's going to go, because we're going to talk about that next week.
Next week we'll talk about the providential worldview and how different it is from this warfare worldview. I figured out from experience that ultimately it was hopeless. The same people had the same problems 3 years later. And I was up at 3 in the morning getting calls from people that were having demonic manifestations that needed relief right now. Had all of this stuff I was doing, and it wasn't working. I looked around me at some of the elders and leaders in our movement, and I talked to some of them, the ones that were doing well, that were mature Christians. I said, did you ever go through this? Well, no. Did you ever have anybody cast demons out of you? No. Well, did you go through all this inner healing? No. In fact, all the people around me that were doing good, that we weren't having the ministry sessions for, were people that became the way they were because of their conversion through the gospel. The people that were getting the constant ministry sessions had been doing so for years, and they weren't getting better. That led me back to the Scriptures, and once I studied the Scriptures, and we'll talk about this next week, I realized all this stuff I was doing was not how God intended to deliver people.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to next week. That's it for today, folks. For those of you who might want to contact us or visit our church, we're Twin City Fellowship in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Our telephone number is 952-935-3100, or you can find us on the web at cicministry.org. For Critical Issues Commentary, this is Dick Kuffel
and Bob DeWaay.
See you next week.